Now, if you know anything about me and my channel, you would know that I personally love queens in my video games, okay? And honestly, I can't help but think that queen representation is severely lacking. Instead of having, you know, like 80% of modern games having queens in them, it should be 100%, let's be honest, okay?
Real talk.
Like, if you were to ask me, I think every game should star a big 300-pound Shaniqua as the protagonist, okay? Especially since, you know, black female gamers are one of the biggest and primary demographic of video game players after all.
Wow, I am black and I'm good at basketball. Look at the stylish layup, yeah.
Something that I just noticed is that despite queens being the most, you know, obese body type 2s out there, we really don't have any representation for them. Now that I think about it, all the black women in modern games are typically skinny. Well, at least compared to your typical queen out in the fucking wild. So can we please, like, I don't know, get some real queen representation in games where they are actually obese like their real life counterparts? I'm just saying, I'd love to play a game featuring somebody like the poop emoji that is Lizzo, where I'm like 500 pounds and every step that I walk causes a fucking earthquake. Like, that could be like her superpower and shit. Like, doesn't it, like that I think that honestly that game would probably sell tens of millions of copies. Like, that game would literally sell like hotcakes, okay? Let's be honest. Plus, obviously, everybody loves queens, you know, myself included. Like, even my most two popular videos on my channel are about my love for the queens out there. But anyways, it really got me thinking and wondering and pondering to myself, what are the top 10 queens in video games? So I decided to make a list showcasing my top 10 queens, and this is it right here. So starting off at number 10, we got Debra Wilson playing herself as Debra Wilson in Death Walking 2. Now, of course, we had to have at least one of the spots occupied with our much appreciated and loved Queen Debra Bug-Eyed Wilson. Not to mention, okay, not to mention, this is a queen from a game that just recently released that everybody seems to love, such as Mudasar calling it the best game of the generation.
Death Stranding 2 is a game that I would 100,000% recommend to anybody. It's actually one of the best games that I've actually played this year. In fact, it might be one of the best games I've played this generation of gaming.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Debra Wilson also has two right hands in this game, and I don't know if you know anything about the religion of peace. You know that Allah also has two right hands. Make of that what you will, whether that be Debra Wilson is a god amongst men perhaps, or that she's secretly a demon in disguise. But obviously I also wanted to shine more of a light on this masterpiece, this masterclass of a game, this generational game that only comes out once in a fucking lifetime, dude. Thank you, Lord Kojima, for blessing us with not only bald body type 2s that are pregnant holding guns on the front lines.
Luckily, I had strong women around me.
But also Debra Wilson. Thank you, Kojima. Next is number 9 with Amanda Waller from Kill the Justice League. And you guessed correct, Debra Wilson also plays her. Now, I know I just said we needed at least one of the spots occupied with our much appreciated and loved queen, but honestly, let's just be real, okay? Let's just be honest. One single slot isn't enough. Like one slot is not enough for Debra Wilson. She needs at least two, okay? We need at least 2 spots dedicated to our queen, Debra Wilson. I love myself a bald boss girl, right? Especially one that pushes around the soylent drinking LGBT Joker around.
Mandy, baby, is that you? Oh, I'm so glad you're alive.
Shut it! It was a gamble adding you to this Task Force X, and I'm sick of your bullshit already.
What were they fucking thinking?
Like, seriously though, how can you not love Debra Wilson and also love the fact that in every video game she literally plays herself and these developers can always scan in her face perfectly every minute detail into all of the games. They never seem to miss a single detail and always retain her look flawlessly. You know, from her bug eyes to her bald head to her beautiful, you know, facial structure, just everything, just it all transfers to video games just so effortlessly with these developers. Meanwhile, for whatever reason, other models, specifically ones that appeal to the, you know, toxic male gaze, the developers can never seem to get their looks right and downgrade them. I wonder why that is. I don't know. Coming in at number 8, we have Grace Walker from Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. And I mean, isn't this like the perfect and most ideal queen right here? Like, look at that luxurious afro, not to mention, she's a complete and total boss babe. Also, did I mention that she's also played by Debra Wilson, as if it wasn't obvious enough yet? Slay, queen, slay! Which I guess, to be fair, she's a boss babe in every game she's in.
Now you bring bring Super Special back in and you put him down right now, or I will shove this grenade so far up your ass, I'll be dancing and rejoicing as your entrails trickle down from the ceiling. You dig, man?
Shit, man, you dig? We don't put up with your racist white ass around here. Shit. Okay, number 7, we have the very beautiful and very lovely trans black queen from Concord. What, did you really think that every spot on this top 10 would be Debra Wilson? Obviously, I gotta subvert your expectations like any good modern game or movie does. Not to mention, okay, how can I make a list without featuring at least some LGBT ABC 1, 2, 3 up, down, left, right, AB select start representation? Like, am I right? Like, obviously we needed at least some trans representation on this list, okay?
Real talk.
Like, in all seriousness though, where would the world be without trans people? Have we all forgotten that George Washington was actually a black woman all along, and it was just the evil white people, revisionist historians, that changed George Washington from a queen to a white male? Have we also forgotten that Abraham Lincoln was also changed from a queen to a white man? And also every intelligent person throughout the entire world, such as Albert Einstein himself, was actually a black woman, and so has nearly every single other historic figure, because we was kings and queens and shit. But in all seriousness, I don't know what the fuck this character's name is in Concord.
But wait, there's more.
But Mila Jam did in fact make history as the first playable black trans woman in a major studio's video game after all. So like, how could I not include this in my top 10 queens list, okay? Slay, queen, slay! Don't let them hateful bigots bring you down. Number 6, we have Hazel from South of Wakanda coming in strong. Probably and honestly my favorite game from this year. And since it's my favorite game from this year, and honestly probably my game of the year, if not game of the motherfucking decade, I obviously had to include my favorite, you know, race-swapped Hazel into this list, okay? Because just like how we need rainbow representation, we also need race-swapping representation on this top 10 list as well, okay? For anybody who doesn't know, Hazel from the masterpiece that was South of Wakanda was originally a white redhead girl, but once, you know, Sweet Baby Inc. got their grubby, disgusting, rancid, putrid paws on the game, they then race-swapped Hazel from white to a fellow queen, which I obviously, you know, agree with, and I obviously think we need to do more of that. You know, I think that was for the better, okay? Hazel is much better as a queen, let's be honest, okay? Like, hopefully we can race swap more characters to queens in the future. Like, could we race swap, you know, Lara Croft to a queen also? Could we also swap Princess Peach to a queen, and so many other beloved non-queen females to queens, okay? Like, just thinking about this is getting me excited. The possibilities are truly endless. Like, we might as well just swap every single female in existence to a fucking queen, okay? Number 5, we have Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. My bad. That's actually Sierra Junda from Star Wars Jedi, and going more than 2 games without having a Debra Wilson slot in would honestly be criminal. Like it's actually criminal to do that, okay? I can't go more than 2 spots without featuring Debra Wilson, okay?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
And we aren't criminals here, obviously. And even though I may or may not be making a top 10 list on a race that may or may not commit no-no activities more than other races may or may not commit them, I myself cannot partake in those no-no activities, as I am a pure, true, and honest Latina queen, obviously. So since I'm bringing you this wonderful top 10 to further spread the love and positivity of the amazing queens in the world, okay? Make sure to join the Latina Kingdom, where I, your true queen, will never let you down, ever.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. Real talk.
Number 4 is Yasuke from We Was Kang Shadows. And now I know what you're probably thinking, okay? Isn't Yasuke a guy? Isn't this supposed to be like a list for queens and not toxic men? Well, the thing is, Yasuke can identify as a woman if he wants to be, you fucking bigot piece of shit. Fuck you. Don't assume his gender. If Yasuke wants to use the body type 2's bathroom, then he, my bad. She can do so, okay? Don't judge her, you stupid bigot. Yasuke is a strong, independent queen that built Japan from the ground up, okay? Literally, without Yasuke, Japan would not exist today. And you know what else wouldn't exist today without Japan? Yeah, that's right, your anime, okay? So no Dragon Ball, Naruto, Death Note, Sailor Moon, Inuyasha, or any of your anime waifus or anime waifu body pillows and shit. So next time you're watching anime or getting lovey-dovey with your anime body pillow of choice, make sure to thank Yasuke, Yasuke, okay? Make sure to get on your knees and pray to Yasuke, because he might as well be your Lord and Savior. Number 3 is going to be the entirety of the brand new game that hasn't even been released yet, but I'm sure will be released soon. The Queens from Reloaded, where you need to take back from the evil white people who stole your artifacts and shit. We be tired of them evil white man taking our culture and shit, so we need to live up to stereotypes and steal that shit back and shit.
Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Stolen? Who is stealing them?
Us.
That's fucking gay. Oh my god, that is so gay. That is so gay.
I can't wait for this game though to come out, and it's definitely one of my most anticipated games of this year. Like, it just looks like so much fun. It's just one of those games that you can just look at and you just know that you're gonna have a good time with it. It's just one of those games that you look at and you're like, wow, dude, that game just looks so much fun, dude. It looks I can't wait. Like, I literally feel like I feel like a little kid right now during like Christmas time, having to wait for, you know, Christmas to open up my Christmas presents. Like, I just can't wait that long. The game needs to come out sooner, okay? Coming in hot at number 2, we have the deaf girl from Spider-Mid 2. I don't even know what the fuck her name is, but it's the bitch who communicates in emojis. You need to commit some black activities on the evil white people, bringing the queens and kangs down by spray painting the property of others. Probably also may or may not be of, you know, black-owned businesses, but you know, that's not the point, okay? That's not the fucking point. This is what those evil white people get for not giving reparations to us queens, despite the fact that we never were enslaved and that nobody within our family or that is even alive today has ever been a slave. You know, ignore that, okay? But you know, that's not the point. The point is, one point in time, the white people, you know, enslaved our ancestor, and that's like racist and shit, man.
Yo, 305, son, the 305.
Ignore the fact that Kangs sold other Kangs off to another race. That's irrelevant, okay? It's not racist to sell off your own people to another race and shit. It's racist to point that shit out.
Real talk.
Alright, now before we get to number 1, some honorable mentions are every NPC from Avowed, as that game has like a population of 80%, if not higher, of queens. Because let's be honest, very much needed in this racist, toxic, white man dominated hobby. And also Saga Anderson from Alan Wake 2, where she literally replaces, you know, the main character, and you have to play as a queen in the sequel of the game literally named, you know, Alan Wake. And at number 1, I could obviously put, you know, one of the other 5,000 characters. Debra Wilson has been from any recent modern video games such as Forspoken, or even the white woman in Queen Thera from Doom, the Debra Wilson ages. But instead, I think we all know who gets to obtain the real number 1 spot, okay? I think we all know who gets to obtain the fucking crown, okay? This is the one and clear and obvious option, alright? I'm thinking it, you're thinking it, we've all been thinking it this entire time. Probably the only attractive queen in all of gaming. For this one, we really do need to go back to the tribal villages of Africa and shit, and it's the one and only tribal Sheva. Like, come on, how the fuck do you expect to take anybody serious when they make a top 10 queens video, you know, list, and they don't put tribal Sheva at number 1, okay? Like, in all honesty though, even normal Sheva is good. I mean, you could even argue that the Red Riding Hood Sheva, the Fairy Tale Sheva, you know, is actually superior over the tribal Sheva, which, yeah, I think it's the superior Sheva. But let's be real, whether we're talking about OG Sheva, Dead by Daylight Sheva, tribal Sheva, or even Red Riding Hood Sheva, they are all Sheva at the end of the day, and they are all equally as good. Like, you can't go wrong with any form of Sheva, okay? She may be brain dead, retarded, you know, when you're playing Resident Evil 5 by yourself, but does that really matter? What she lacks in brain cells, she makes up in the looks department. And let's just be real, okay? Let's just keep it a $133. That's all that really matters. This video wasn't even really about queens, cause fuck every number prior to this, because there can only be one real queen at the end of the day, and that's Sheva. And you know, obviously me also, the Latina queen, but for video games, it's Sheva. This video was just about the Sheva representation, honestly. The Sheva appreciation, the love we all have for Sheva. Resident Evil 5 may be a downgrade in many ways compared to 4, but what 5 has over 4 is Sheva. If only all queens look like Sheva, then maybe the world would be a better place. I mean, like, like, Latinas are obviously still superior over Sheva, obviously, but Sheva, you know, she's still cool, okay? However, I do think it might be a little bit funny because despite, you know, Sheva technically being a queen, she's also half white, so that's unfortunate, I guess. So the number 1 spot went to a woman who's only a 50% queen and not 100% queen. So maybe that disqualifies Sheva from being at the number 1 spot. I don't know. If it does, then I guess that's fair, considering she's only a half queen. You know, she has been corrupted and contaminated with the white people blood and shit. So if that's the case, then I think it's only fair, okay, to have a different queen to be at number 1. A queen from a game that I just recently finished on stream and still holds up quite well today, in my opinion. The game where you get watermelons as health, and there's even rap in the game because obviously all queens and kangs love themselves some 2-packs. The game of which is significantly better than its shit Switch 2 counterpart, that being Donkey Kong 64 with none other than Candy Kong herself. Like, come on. I might not be a furry, but if I were a furry and shit, Candy Kong would definitely be getting it, not gonna lie. Candy Kong is a baddie, let's just be honest, okay? So do you agree with my list? What's your top 10 queens in video games? You know, let me know down in the comments and shit, or don't, I don't know.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. Real talk.